The program today is about the pathway to citizenship and naturalization, and it features William Hanna and D. I'm going to call him D, and he's going to tell you his name when he gets up here. And I'm going to let William tell you more about himself when he gets up here. I'll tell you that I've known William 15 years and worked directly with him many years, and I'm very proud that he's here today. Thank you for coming, William, so much. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take it from here. It's going to be, what we're going to do is something like, I'm trying to think, Crosby Kemper does this a lot, where he interviews his guest. And so William's going to be the interviewer, and Dee is going to be the interviewee. And we're going to ask them to come up here and take their chairs. We are videoing this, so we're going to be able to put it on our website. Others can see it later, which is a good thing. So I'm going to turn the program over to you two.
Great, thank you.
Oh,
Thanks, everyone. So,
I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. So happy to interview you guys, and if you have any questions.
exactly.
To be honest with you, I never get that much people in front of me and talk to them. I feel like
That's right. This will be great. We thank you for the opportunity to come talk to us, and we'd really like to encourage questions and answers that Odai can answer, and maybe I can answer a few too. Because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about our immigration system and also what it takes to be able to become a United States citizen. So let's just be very informal and relaxed about it, and hopefully we can learn from you, and Odai can tell you about his path to this country and citizenship and everything else. So again, my name is William Hanna, and I work at the Stinson Law Firm where Christine also works. So I met Odai and his wonderful family a few years ago because I represented them to be able to obtain their citizenship in this country. So more than a client, Odai's my friend. You can call him D. We've had them over to our house many times for dinner. We've been to their house many times in their family. These are amazing cooks and wonderful. So Odai, why don't you tell us where were you born and what country are you from originally?
So I born in Syria. My family, they born in Syria and they're from Syria. I born in good family. I born in 1999. Since I born to 2010, my life it was amazing in Syria. My dad, he has money. My dad has his own businesses. He has, he been wealthy in there.
And what did he do? What did he do?
I used to study. So, Syria,
Right.
you're talking about 11 years old, so I used in middle school. So
And your father, what was his
my dad,
job?
he's own restaurants. He's a chef. So he has 3 restaurants in Syria. So he's do barbecue, and William knows about my dad barbecues.
Right.
You don't know yet,
Yeah.
but maybe one time, guys.
Right.
My dad, he want to start his own business here too. So yeah.
And so then what happened when you were 11?
So the problems start in Syria 2011. So we have
The
the
problems with ISIS
ISIS,
and problems with President
presidents,
Assad.
governments,
Right.
and my dad, he decided just be mindful, and he left everything behind, and he wanted his family, like me and my two sisters and my mom, just move us to another country. So we moved to Egypt. So that's how, to order to find a safe place to live, away from the war, away from the dies, kills, bloods.
And just briefly describe what was going on in Syria that caused you to have to leave.
Again, ISIS been in Syria, government issues, you don't know who's killing who's, and you don't know who want to fight who. So it's so easy to die over there during that time.
And so where did you go?
So we went to Egypt. So we went to Egypt 2011. Actually, before we went to Egypt, we moved to another state inside Syria. But still, you move from that state to another state and start the problem over there too.
Right.
Because, it's a safe country.
Right.
So finally, my dad, he just decided to leave everything behind. He left his buildings, restaurants,
Home.
money, home, friends, family, and he just want to be that small family with him, and he want to be us safe in another place. So we moved to Egypt. We used to have a little bit hard time over there. Government was nice in certain point till the government changed.
So and where did you live in Egypt?
We live in Cairo, 6th of October. So yeah.
Right, and there was lots of people from Syria. I mean,
Yeah,
these people may or may not know that's one of the biggest refugee places in the history of the world where people were leaving Syria due to the war. So they were moving into Jordan, which is the neighboring country, and also to Egypt and other places.
Egypt, Turkey, Lebanon,
Yes.
and actually right now in Europe, and even we have here some United States too. They give.
Right. So how did you come to this country?
Oh, it's a long story.
Right.
It's take years and years. So yeah, 11, the end of 2011, almost 2012, we moved to Egypt, and we start to work over there and to order, because you lost everything, so you are starting from zero in Egypt. So we rent house. I work at restaurant. My dad, he used own restaurant. He work washing dishes and restaurants. So it's a lot. It's not that easy. But my dad is big fighter, so he's really strong man. William knows he's really has. I think the only things he let him to be in that case, his family, me, my sisters, and my mom. So yeah, my dad, he worked hard for us. I really appreciate all he do to us, to my family. So we moved to Egypt, and we start have problems over there. My oldest sister and I, and my youngest sister, we cannot go to school because we don't have a paper work over there. Because I told you the government's changed over there. First of all, they was welcome us. After that second government they came, they don't like to be us over there. They think we are stealing their jobs and
Stealing their jobs.
yeah,
right.
because when you move from country, it's been really safe and nice, and you move to another country, and the order to let another owners or peoples hire you, you have to work hard and cheaper labors. So that's what we used to do over there. We was really hard worker over there and cheapest labor than Egyptian people, and that's why the people think we are stealing their jobs. But we not try to stealing their job, but we try to work hard to live. That's the only reason I can, let you. Okay, I'm a good guy, and you can hire me because I'm hard worker and cheap labor too.
Right.
So,
And so at some point, you were able to work through the United Nations for the refugee program?
it's called UNICEF.
UNICEF.
So UNICEF contact us in some point, and they ask us, "Are you like to be emigrate to another country?"
Did they say United States or just
No,
any country?
Any country.
Right.
They said any country. My dad, he said, let me think about it. Seriously, that's what happened. And during the dinner on weekend, and my dad said, "Oh, last Thursday, somebody called me and he said, do you like to emigrate to another country?" What? He said that. He said, I said, let me think about it. Are you serious? He said, yeah. He just keep thinking he can go back to Syria, and maybe he can fix wherever left behind, or he can sell his buildings, his
Right.
lands to order, because because still, that's the country he's born. He lived like 40
Right.
years over there,
Right.
and all his family is still in there, and he want to be close to them.
And so eventually you decided to apply.
Yeah, actually, we was, it's long story short, we was upset from my dad because he said he keep thinking about it, and after 1 month or 2 months, they called my dad again. He said, do you still think about it? And that during that time, that 1 month short period, it was that, the stuff in Egypt is go like harder than us.
Right.
He thought like, still my youngest sister, she's not going to school. All the sisters, she's at home. She cannot work. She cannot go to school. And even me and him, we working, but still the government looking for us.
Right. So I assume that once you decided through UNICEF that we want to go through the project, I'm sure it only took a week or two before they put you to another country.
Yes. It's take 3.5 years. The process.
And I do think one of the things that I've learned is I think a lot of people feel like if you're in the refugee program that the United States is the only country that takes refugees from other countries, and that is not the case. So it's organized by the United Nations, and so what the United Nations does is they vet people and they check their background and they check them and they check them and they check them again. And shockingly, it's not the most efficient process and takes a lot of time. So
It
go
is.
ahead.
It takes 3.5 years. So yeah, they called my dad again. My dad said, yes, why not? And they booked interview for us. I said, so excited, leave Egypt, maybe move to another country, a little bit, see if you have legal paperwork, you can work, you can practice your normal life. And yes, it started 2013. Our first interview. I don't remember dates.
Right. But how many times do you think you were interviewed? Just ballpark.
17 times.
So, and
That's only
right.
the interview with the police officer. I don't told you about the interview in the hospitals and the check your house-wise.
And so what type of things were they trying to learn
So
through these
it's
interviews?
basically they want to check your background. They ask you a lot of questions, and every interview you want in there, they want to ask you the same question, different word. They want to see if you are lying, you are hiding something,
Right.
you are adding something
Right.
new in.
Right. If you have a criminal past. right?
Exactly.
Or if you've been part of
They
ISIS.
they know if you have criminal bad, they don't call you.
Right.
Because they have all our record in Egypt and how we do in Egypt.
Right.
So if
And-
you even if you went to jail or if you have any bad history before, you're not that guy you can immigrate to another country.
So you're going through all this. Did you still at this point know, okay, I'm going to come to the United States?
You do interview, but still you have no clue if you want to go, they approve you or not approve you. After our last interview, it's been 2016. I think it's been February 25. I remember after 10 days of my birthday. So they said they call us and they book interview date and we want them there again. They said you are approved
Okay, great.
and I said awesome. But they said we not sure which country they want to pick you yet. So they approve our paperwork, but our paperwork they want to go to,
Which country?
which country? They pass it through like 5-6 countries. I think during that time, Germany, French, United Kingdom, United States, and
Did it matter to you?
it is
Mhm.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
It is matter.
Right. And
But
so-
still, I just want to move from that case. I just want to go from. I want to live normal life, William.
Right.
Seriously, I'm just looking for living full normal life, even in Sweden, even in any country.
Right.
Even if in Egypt too. If I can live my normal life, I will not leave Egypt.
Exactly. So how did you find out that America had chosen you?
So after like weeks or So like weeks or 2 weeks, they call my dad again. They tell him, we need you to be, we have interview again. That's it's not interview, it's just basically to give us optional. They said 2 countries they pick you, United Kingdom and United States. Which one you would like to go? And my dad was confusing which one he wanted to pick. But he said, I want to go to the United States.
And why?
He knows we have a lot of opportunity in the United States more than another country. And he knows about freedom here.
Right.
So that's why he picked up the United States.
I see. So did you get to pick what part of the country you wanted to come to?
Not really. You pick actually we chose, that's the first time you can choose something. We were so happy. Hey, we can decide something right now after like all that years. So no, you cannot pick which state or city you want to go in there. They give your paperwork to the United States, and it's if I remember right, it's called GVS.
Yeah.
It's like a group of people. They help the refugee people because the government, they give you support for those refugee people for 3
Very
months.
short time.
Yeah, for 3 months, like give you house. They pay your utilities. They give you food for only 3 months, just to let you to know about United States, and you can get job and start your life.
But then you got to start working. Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, yeah,
Right.
that's and actually GVS, they pick us, and they said they pick you in Kansas City. But again, you are in the United States. If you want to move to another state, you can. But yeah,
But had you ever heard of Kansas City before?
not really. I know New York. I know Chicago, Michigan.
But she knew the Chiefs were going to
California.
win the Super Bowl coming up. So.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chiefs right now. You know that.
Right. So you came to Kansas City, came to the airport,
No, Kansas City. I
Okay.
went to New York airport.
right? Flew to New York.
Yeah.
Your whole family.
Yes.
Would-
That was really happy moment to us, and we just lay down, flew in New York, stop in the airport, but still we have no clue what's going on over there.
How was your English at that time?
0,
And how about the rest of your family?
0 too. So we have no clue about English. We get courses in Egypt before we came here, but that's not the English. They teach you, they've seen it's English, but it's not English. They teach you like British accent, first of all. So like one funny thing's happened to me. I saw a police officer and I was so thirsty. And I need water. He just looked at me, what? I need water. And he just keep looking, dude, I need water. I want to drink. He said, oh, you need water. Okay. I thought, oh my goodness, I take like 6 months course. I cannot see water.
So once you came to Kansas City, you flew from New York to Kansas City?
Yeah, I actually, when I have just basic English to abuse myself, and if I need water only or food, that's the only 2-3 words I know. We flew to Kansas City after New York.
Right. And how did you find a place to live?
The GVS.
Okay.
GVS, they find you house.
That's a nonprofit organization, like groups like Della Lamb or other
What was
groups.
the name of the company?
The GVS?
GVS.
And I can't remember what those initials stand for. But there are a number of nonprofits, like Refuge KC is one, Della Lamb is the other, Catholic Charities. And they will all help find places for refugee families to live. And of course, it's hard to find a place because guess what? They don't have any credit history, right? And they have very limited income for a short amount of time. And it's like, okay, now we've got to find right away, we've got to find jobs. And for very hardworking people, but who don't speak English, but are very motivated to work. So those organizations help people find jobs right away. So and you found a place to live, right?
Yes, it was not that nice house, to be honest with you.
Where, Commissioner?
Uh,
Where did you live?
I don't want to say where I.
Yeah, okay.
But it was not
say,
nice
say where you
house.
live. They have a wonderful home now.
Yeah, it was not nice neighborhood. We used to have problem in that neighborhood. Like we hear a lot of shooting. I said, we just left the war.
Right.
You know. So actually the first 6 months in that house it was hard. The house is not that clean. It's been bad opportunity. It's not all the house in the United States like that, but they need the GPS. They want to find you the cheapest house because you have budget, and you want that budget to cover at least as much as they can because you are limited here. You want to learn language, you want to learn driving, you want to get driver's license. It's a lot of stuff you want to do before you get a job because especially here in Kansas, you cannot work if you don't have driver's license.
Right.
Because the distance is so far. You cannot use the broad bus, it's going to be take like 6-7 hours. That's another shift,
Right.
work shift.
So you arrived in this country in 2016,
Yes.
and so they arrived in this country obviously legally. Our country brought them here. So one of the confusing things about a refugee program is the United States actually picks and chooses refugee people to come here. So theoretically, we can pick the best and the brightest to come to this country because we're picking and choosing them. So the numbers have gone up and down through the years based upon who the president is or this issue or that issue on the number of refugees we pick per year. But they're from all different countries, and they're vetted and they're vetted and they're vetted again by the United Nations and other organizations. Because I get it, we want to be careful about who we let into the country, but we're bringing refugees in that way. So that is how Odai came to this country in 2016. And so how did you get so good at English?
I went to my first high school because I was 17 years old and that's time to go to high school. But the bad stuff since 2011 to 2016, I've never been to school. So kind of 5 years of my life not studying, not going to school. They thought because of my age, I should be in high school and should be like junior. Okay, high school and junior, so hard, even for American people.
In a different language, right?
So yeah, I went to East High School. The community over there, it was like most of them, they are Mexican. The second language they teach over there, the translate Spanish basically. So yeah, I don't have anybody speak Arabic over there. Still, I have the language is hard. Fortunately, we get like 5-6 students, they speak Arabic over there, and they start help me, understanding the teachers. Be honest with you, the first 2-3 months in school, the teacher in the board, she explained a lot, but I have no clue what she's saying. Just like, okay, I make smiling, and you have no clue what she's talking about.
Wow.
It's another language. It's so hard. Fortunately, we get opportunity to move to another area, and I moved to high school. It's called Blue Valley North High School. I really appreciate the teacher, the community over there. I really appreciate Miss Kraft. She's English teacher. She just had me in her classroom. She's worked so hard. She worked so hard to teach me English, reading, writing, speaking, hearing. The school too, they put like 2 students with me all the time. They don't speak Arabic, but they speak English. They try just start a conversation with me. They want me to talk. They want me to do something. And yeah, after 6 months, I start understand them, but a little bit hard to talk. Get to senior years, I'm doing good. Understand, know what they're talking about. Even some vocab I don't know, I can ask. So it's been easier and easier. Graduate from Blue Valley North High School, 2018. I worked I study over there like summer. I take a lot of courses over there, even in summertime. Just want me to follow the student. I think it has like 24 credit. Back the day, and I have to take all those 24 credit to graduate, and I graduate from there.
Wow.
And yeah, that's been in high school. It was so fun. I never forget the high school. I never forget the Miss Craft and that school too. And I hope my new generation, they want to go to that high school too.
Very good. Very good. So at that time, you'd been here for a few years, but you were not yet a citizen, correct?
No, not really.
Right.
You have something called the green card. It's permanent resident.
So you're a permanent legal resident if you're a green card holder. So you're not a citizen, so you can't vote, but you can be a green card holder for your entire life if you want to be. You just have to renew it. Don't do anything silly like commit a crime, because then you'll be deported. But you can be a green card holder for your life.
Yes.
But you wanted to be a citizen.
Yes. Why not?
Right. So that's how I met Odai. So, and his wonderful family. So I started to get involved doing immigration matters just because I didn't really like the public discussion in our country just about immigrants. And I just thought there was a lot of misunderstanding there. So I said, let me represent a refugee family. And they put me with the Al Mehbanis. So we did their citizenship work. So what you have to do is fill out a lot of paperwork. You have to have all the identification documents. You have to show that you are here in this country legally. The main requirement is you're in this country legally for 5 years. And you have to be basically a good citizen during that time. Obviously, there are exceptions. But then you also have to take a citizenship test. So we filled out all the paperwork for Odai, his parents, and his 2 sisters. And that's how we got to know one another and become friends. And so then you take the citizenship test. And Christine and I have joked about it, but there would be a lot of Americans, it would be harder than you think to answer some of the questions on the citizenship test. Some of the questions are easy. Some are like, who is the current president? But some of the questions are harder, like, who is the president of the United States during World War I? Yeah, or World War II. So I will say, not to brag on them, but I sat in all the interviews for the entire Al Mehbani family, perfect answers to every question. So you're told that you have you go to an interview office up at the immigration office. It's close to the airport. It's in the strip mall close to the airport. After you submit all your paperwork, then you have a date of your citizenship test, and you show up, and there's an officer, and they go through all your paperwork, and they ask you questions, like, have you committed a crime, or have you paid your taxes, have you ever told someone that you're an American citizen when you're not, things like that. So you go through all those things, but then they have you write a very short sentence in English, like I think yours was, we pay taxes, or citizens can vote, something short. And then they ask you the question. So you're going to be given 10 questions, and you have to get 6 out of the 10 right. And so the Al Mehbani's families aced them, didn't miss one. So that's the story of how we met and became friends. It's just been a wonderful relationship.
But you have to study 100 questions.
Yeah, you have to study all 100 because you don't know which ones are going to be on the test.
Yeah. Especially, I'm so bad in names and dates.
Right.
I have 3
right.
questions on date and names.
Right. That is because as people who have lived here our whole lives, you're used to hearing the name George Washington, first president, or Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Declaration of Independence. But we're not as familiar with names from another culture, so just learning the names is difficult, not to mention just putting together what they did. I remember it was so cool. Odai's mom took the test. Well, talk a little more and I'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not that hard was for me or my mom or my sister because they study for it. They work hard. They understand the history basically of the United States right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So the story about his mom is the question was name 3 federal holidays. And so she was like, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day. And the guy's like, and this was her last question, her 6th question, because they don't ask you the other questions once you get the 6th one right? Because it's a waste of time. And the officer is asking questions like, okay, ma'am, that's fine. She wanted him to know that she knew every one. So more of that. 4th of July. Yeah. She wanted him to know that she knew. So, but there's got to be a lot of questions. I mean, there's obviously different ways to citizenship. Odai came as a refugee. Other people can come. If you're married to an American citizen, you're allowed to come to this country. That's a long process too. There are other ways to come other than being a refugee. You can claim asylum. And asylum is when you have a legitimate fear of being persecuted in your home country because of your political view or your involvement in a group or your religious faith. That is harder to show. But that's another way that you can come here, and you aren't necessarily a citizen, but you can be allowed to stay here legally. So, in fact, that is what a number of the people we see on the news that are coming to the border in Texas and Arizona, they're claiming asylum. Anyone you talk to about our immigration system will tell you it is broken, and they are right. There are exceptions to every rule who can work through the system and get to come here legally, but there are real problems with our system, and whether and not to have a political discussion at all, because people on different sides of the political spectrum will tell you where our immigration system is broken. But one of the problems is people come to the border, and under the law they are allowed to claim asylum and say, I'm being persecuted in my country, whether that's El Salvador or Nicaragua or Venezuela or whatever. Our system is so backlogged that they will say at the border, okay, that's fine, your asylum hearing is for 1 year from now. And in the meantime, you're allowed to stay in this country legally while you're waiting for your asylum to be heard, but you're not allowed to work. So we're really setting ourselves up for failure. For failure when that is our system. And so it's obviously it's not a good system. And there is a difference. Our unemployment rate, as you may have read in the news, is at an all-time low right now. And it's like, oh, if only we lived in a country where people were willing to come from thousands of miles away and work. It's like, oh wait, we do, and that is a good thing. That's not a bad thing, but that doesn't mean you let everyone in either. There has to be a compromise and give and take there. But what else would you like to talk about the immigration where do you live now and what do you do now?
I live in Kansas City, Missouri. I graduated from Blue Valley, I graduated from Blue Valley High School, but I graduated from MCC, Business and Technology.
Community College.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Metropolitan Community College. I graduated from there, HVAC technician, and I'm specialized with indoor air quality. So we do a lot of indoor air quality for people that have special health, like a lot of allergies from smog, from weather, from change weather between some. That's what I specialize to notice and to find the problem with them and what that allergy coming from. And especially for a lot of people that have asthma, because my dad has asthma, and I was so curious about that, to know about indoor air quality, especially here in the United States. So yeah, I have really good knowledge about that. I study so hard for it, and
Yeah. So Odai now is an HVAC technician. You'd like to own your own business, right?
I just started my own business. It's called Q21 Heating and Cooling.
And why is it that name?
The years. It's
21.
Q, like it's quality. 21, the years and the age when I started in that business. So 21, it's been 2021 when I started that business, and then I was 21 years old. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
When did you get your naturalization ceremony and your citizenship?
I get it in
2021, right?
yeah.
After you've been here 5
yeah, I get it
years.
in 21 too.
Where?
Oh, well, yours was at the casino, right?
Casino, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was
so,
fun.
so oftentimes, so a federal judge will do the naturalization ceremony. So it's got to be a federal judge, not a state judge, because it's a federal issue. So once you pass the citizenship test, then they say, we'll send you something in the mail to have your formal ceremony where you're sworn in. And so Odai and his family, because I think there had been a backlog due to COVID, oftentimes they'll do them at the courthouse. And there'll be maybe 100 or 200 people there. I've been to naturalization ceremonies at the Kansas City Public Library, at the the Federal Courthouse of Kansas City, Kansas, or at the casino.
Truman
And so-
Presidential Library?
Yes, that's another one, exactly. And so they have everyone go around and speak what country they're from originally, and then the judge says some flowery words, and then they swear everyone in to be a citizen, and you get a certificate.
And give loyalty to the United States.
Right, right. And so then you're eligible to vote just like anyone else.
Yes.
So what other, there has to be some other questions, because I'm sure we haven't covered everything, but,
Were your sisters given the same student teachers to help them through school as well?
They don't been in Blue Valley High School. My oldest sister right now, she's studying business. She's in MCC right now. My youngest sister, she's in high school. She's junior. I just told William I went in her school conversation last Wednesday. She's so smart. She works so hard. She's in honor classes right now, and she take a lot of college classes in her junior years. And she's been in 4.2 GPA. So she works so hard. She's really
Very
yeah.
good.
But the only thing about her, she don't know what she want to be in the future.
that's okay. Because
How old is her oyster?
Yeah, how old is Cedric?
She born 2006. She's 17 years
Yeah,
old.
she's got some time.
She has time.
Go ahead.
I want to ask about your mother.
Oh,
Has she learned to speak English? And
Yes.
What she,
yes, my mom, she speak English well. But basically she spent most of her time take care of us. Yeah.
She's wonderful. In my experience from working with different immigrant families, what I've found is the children, and I say that in a respectful way, the children oftentimes become the parents in terms of making responsibilities for the family, because they pick up the language faster. They pick up the culture faster. So just think how confusing our decisions are about health care, like what health insurance, or filing your taxes. So you could be 20 or 21 years old and you're making the family decision on whether we make liability insurance for our cars or comprehensive for our car. So, and it's not because the parents aren't smart or motivated, but they don't learn the language as fast because they're older and they don't understand the culture as quickly.
Yes.
And
That's true.
yeah, so
Especially my dad right now.
Do you all still live under the same roof then together?
Yes.
And
yes.
what is your dad doing? Is he gonna go into the restaurant business?
He's manager at the pizza restaurant. It's called Southside Mafia Pizza.
excellent pizza.
It's Italian.
Southside?
Southside Mafia Pizza.
Oh, really?
It's
Where is it?
Italian, and Italy they have the famous from mafia, and here you go.
So
There.
where is it located?
It's Flores Road.
Yeah, it's South Kansas City. So, yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
So Odai and his family live kind of where Bannister Mall, basically like 435 and what's the, and Bannister loosely around there.
Mhm.
Mhm. So, that is their short. We will have similar refugees, I'm sure, from Ukraine at some point, but we have refugees from different countries for different reasons. We've had, after the situation in Afghanistan, we've had a number of Afghans come to our community. And they have come here under a different situation because the American withdrawal out of Afghanistan was so fast, and so many Afghans came out of that country so quickly. there wasn't the opportunity to vet them as thoroughly as over the 3 years that Odai and his family were vetted. So the vast majority of those people have come here under what they call parole status. And so they're here temporarily until they can prove that they can go through the asylum process that we talked about earlier. So asylum, you have to show, okay, I'm from Afghanistan. If I go back, I was involved in the Afghan military fighting against the Taliban. The Taliban is now in control of the country. If I go back to Afghanistan, the Taliban will know I'm their former enemy and will do bad things to me. That is the basic things of what you're trying to show as an asylum application. So when we had Afghans come to this country, we had so many come together all at one time, and that was also during COVID. There was like 800 Afghans, and they all rented out an entire hotel up by the Kansas City airport. So all these Afghans were living there, and it takes time to find, this was again during COVID, trying to find apartments for them to live. Well, the housing market was very tight at that time and remains tight. So where are we going to find places for these people to live? Where are we going to find jobs for them? And they've all shown up all at once. So it took a lot of time for them to be able to find places to live. Again, those people were all assisted by Catholic Charities, Refuge KC, Della Lamb, people like that. It's the government involvement is really fairly limited, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't say that disrespectfully to the government, but just let people on the ground. How's someone in Kansas City, in Washington D.C., gonna know where apartments are opening up in Kansas City or Overland Park or Olathe or something? So, are there other questions? We'd be happy to. I would just say it's been a wonderful thing for our family to get to know the Al Mehbanis and some other immigrant families. We love them and consider them close friends. And it's the reason I've done this immigration work. The legal work is the legal work, but it's the relationships. It's the relationships with the people that drive it.
Wonderful.
What's one of your favorite things now that you didn't have back home or in Egypt? Like,
See,
oh yeah.
Safe.
But is there anything else that like something fun?
fun here?
Mhm.
Yeah, especially when you used to have a dream and you think in certain point you cannot make any of those dreams, and in 1 minute everything changed in your life. And here you go, I go back to school, I study new language, I meet new people, I have new friends, have my dream, most of them. All your dreams when you come through, that's the happy moments.
Yeah.
So
Obviously, you have a driver's license since you're working and everything.
yes, and I drive boat too.
Did you say Ford?
No,
Oh.
boat.
Fortunate.
I bet as hard as your path has been getting to this point, that you're better off, and you realize you're better off than those people that are crossing the border and just claiming asylum with no safety net.
Yes, that. I never know about that till I saw it in the news. And I know about it over here basically. I never know about it when I was in Egypt.
Right.
But yeah, when I've been through all that hard, and when you saw easy people, they just pass the border and get the immigration. It's not fair to me,
Right,
especially
exactly.
you've been through a lot.
Mhm.
I'm not saying the system is bad. To be honest, I'm the Lord right now in the United States, and I like that system because you cannot bring anyone to here. Dangerous people, crime people.
Right, exactly.
And again, the United States, they don't need people who just came here and get financial support from the government. They need the people who work here and growing up the community. And that's what they're looking for. I don't blame them. Because, if you own a restaurant or a small business, you need the people to work for you, not just come and sit and get the money. And that's what I've been through. I've been through a lot of things. I really appreciate the United States. They let me study, I graduate, and right now I pay it off by my hard work and help another people here.
Makes you feel good.
Yes, especially, I told you I'm doing heating and cooling, and you cannot live without AC or heat.
For,
So
for
I
all
help-
your
I help people.
HVAC needs.
Yes. So yeah, that's give you opportunity to help people during the
Yeah.
summer and winter and that
Do
cold.
you have a business card?
I do have some.
Did you bring some?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we'll take them.
For sure.
We'll take them. I want you to stay there for a minute, and I'm gonna try to get up here, and we're gonna do something a little fun. Fun for me, but not fun for the people I volunteer. So, 100 questions.
Do you want to ask me questions again?
No, you're off the hook. Who wants to be, I need 2 volunteers. Who wants to volunteer? Oh, boy.
There's one.
Okay, and I need 1 other.
Well, come on, somebody.
If you don't volunteer, you get volunteered. Okay, Christy.
Okay.
So Christy and Doris.
Okay.
So
Oh.
this side of the
We're
room,
gonna be embarrassed.
Doris's
We're
team.
Team Doris.
That side of the room is Christy's team.
But that's not fair. There are more people over there.
They may need them. They need, this group looks really smart, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are,
Okay, and I'm gonna keep record here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna test your knowledge of these 100
Oh, my
questions.
oh my gosh.
So Doris and Christy. And Christy, you can get help, and Doris, you can get help. All right. Some of these, we're gonna do like 10 maybe. And this is, we'll start with Doris's side. This is the first question. What is the supreme law of the land?
Constitution.
Exactly.
1 for Doris. And Dee will tell you if you're right or
He's the
not.
judge.
Yeah, when you're side, don't worry.
Okay, now this, I'm gonna skip down to the, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment?
You're right, guys.
We think freedom of speech.
That's right. Okay, Christie?
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
Oh, yeah, Dee will tell you if you're right. Okay, all right, Doris, we're gonna do, name one branch or part of the government.
The executive branch.
The what?
The executive.
That's right.
Very good.
Branch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you say-
President, too.
Yeah,
It's a big branch.
yeah. Okay, Christie. I love Christie. That's so good.
Another one.
Who is one of your state's United States senators now?
Oh, that's easy.
You can get help.
I don't.
What's the, they do this, Jeff, or not Jeff,
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Josh Hawley.
That's correct.
Gosh, all the-
Very good.
She's still in there.
Okay, Doris. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
The vice president, right? And then, after that,
Okay.
the speaker of the house.
Yes.
Christie's gonna kill me.
Better not give me all the hard ones.
I know, it kind of seems like that, doesn't it? Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now?
Ask Siri.
Yeah.
Hey Siri.
I see.
Do you guys know up there?
We believe Roberts.
That's correct.
That's right. John Roberts.
See? All right, I'm just scrolling down. I'm on 50 now. Name one right only for United States citizens. name one right only for United States citizens.
To vote.
That's
Very
right.
good.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go on down. I'm on 60. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves?
African Americans?
You're right.
The Africans.
Okay, so we'll go down to 65. What happened at the Constitutional Convention?
Well, it was ratified.
He was
Well, by all the different representatives. Is that wrong?
I don't know.
What is it? I would
The
think that-
Constitution was written.
Written.
Written,
Yeah.
ratified,
Well,
We're going to say you're right.
yeah.
You're holding the team back there.
Okay, one more question. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s.
Ooh.
1612.
Civil.
Civil War.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay,
there was lots of.
Everybody did well.
you did well. Was that fun?
Yeah.
Give yourself a hand. Okay, now, did I hear William say you liked the Chiefs?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay.
You know, my favorite sport team is
Here
soccer.
are some things for you. You
Oh.
might want to look through here.
Appreciate it.
Champs.
Oh,
Here we go.
look
We
at
are
that.
champion 22.
Champs. And there's a T-shirt and a blanket.
I have the
Oh, my
same
goodness.
exact blanket.
Yeah,
Wait a
but
I have
that,
two of them right now.
yeah,
Give
you
me
got
this.
two. This is for you, for
That is
coming.
true.
Thank you,
And
appreciate
then,
it.
This is for you, William. It's
Oh,
a
gosh.
token. It's a little tiny thing.
Thank you, that was
But you
not
might want to show
necessary.
people what it is.
That was not necessary. but-
It's.
Oh, that is great.
Oh.
Awesome, a Patrick Mahomes bobblehead.
I had one like that.
Oh, you did?
For 2019.
He's really a fan, isn't he?
Yes, actually, when you do it, heating and cooling, you have a lot of nice people and they give you gifts.
Oh.
I get a lot of gifts, especially when you be nice to people.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we really, really, really are so happy that you came. And,
Oh, my pleasure. I'm
And-
so happy to be here, guys.
And we've got.
But I didn't have a lot of questions here. That's why I said, did I get all of you understand about immigration stuff?
Oh, I got one.
This one is not different.
No, that's all right.
What is your favorite food here, and what is the food you miss?
I don't miss anything because my mom she cook. My favorite food, you mean American food
Yes.
or what?
Mhm.
Barbecues.
Okay.
My favorite restaurant is Q39. That's another reason why I named my company Q21 because I steal that Q from it. Don't share that one.
Well, if there's no more questions and everything, Brenda Perry has brought some wonderful food for refreshments. We're gonna break, and please help yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you, guys.